Hello students, in this video we shall start learning about how subatomic particles were discovered, which consequently disproved Dalton's theory of the atom being the smallest indivisible constituent of matter. Now let's look at what led to the discovery of the electron. In mid-1850s, many scientists, including Faraday, began to study electrical discharge in partially evacuated tubes known as cathode ray tubes or CRT. But what exactly is a CRT? As can be seen, a CRT is essentially a glass tube containing two thin pieces of metal electrodes called cathode and anode. Now, when the pressure in the tube was reduced to as low as 0.0001 mm of mercury by evacuation of gas molecules and a very high voltage of about 15,000 volts was applied across the electrodes, a very strange behavior was observed. It was seen that a mysterious stream of particles started flowing towards the anode. Since they originated from cathode, they were later named cathode rays. Now, an important point here is that although the particles themselves were invisible, their presence could be detected. For example, if a cutout was made in the anode and the tube behind anode was coated with phosphorescent materials such as zinc sulfide, a bright region developed on the coating. Moreover, if an object was placed in their path, they would cast shadows, suggesting the rays traveled in straight line paths in the absence of external fields. But what happens if we apply an external electric field? So, as we see here, if an external electric field was applied, the rays got attracted towards the positive side. Similarly, in the presence of magnetic field, the behavior of cathode rays was similar to that expected from negatively charged particles, suggesting that the rays themselves were negatively charged. Lastly, when a light paddle wheel was placed in their path, it was observed to start rotating. This showed that the rays were made of particle materials having mass and velocity giving rise to momentum. Moreover, these properties did not depend upon the material of electrodes or gas used in the tube. For example, we could have used hydrogen or helium. These properties remain the same. Thus, it was concluded that cathode rays consisted of subatomic negatively charged particles identified as electrons. So, to summarize, we see that cathode rays originate from the cathode and move towards the anode. They are themselves invisible but can illuminate phosphorescent materials like zinc sulfide. Also, in the absence of external fields, they travel in straight lines, but in the presence of electric or magnetic fields, they behave like negatively charged particles. Moreover, they have mass and velocity and can impart momentum to any object that is there in their path. Lastly, their properties do not depend upon the nature of the gas or the electrodes. So, all these properties essentially point to the fact that they are negatively charged particles called electrons.